sandwiches. These are hugely popular in Japan where they are called onigirazo. They're so easy to make, they're actually much easier to roll than sushi, and they're great for lunch boxes too. So today we're making a classic combination of chicken teriyaki with a homemade Japanese mayo. The first step is to bash our chicken thigh fillets because we want them nice and thin. If we thin them out, it's going to make it easier to assemble our sushi sandwiches. We want everything to be quite flat in the sandwich so it's easy to wrap up. So just cover them with some baking paper and firmly bash them. Just get your aggression out. Bashing the chicken is also going to help tenderize it. So now that our chicken's nice and thin, we're going to add some coconut oil to our fry pan. And we're going to fry it on both sides for about 3 to 4 minutes before we add our teriyaki glaze. In goes the chicken. Coconut oil is fantastic for frying because it can withstand really high temperatures. We'll just let that fry for about 3 minutes before we flip it over. In the last minute, we're going to add our gluten-free teriyaki sauce for a beautiful glaze on our chicken. Now this sauce is gluten-free. Ensure you check the labelling when you're at the supermarket to ensure there is no wheat starch in the sauce. It's also preservative-free. That teriyaki sauce is caramelizing beautifully. It's going to provide a beautiful glaze to our chicken. Okay, that chicken is beautifully glazed on all sides. Look at that beautiful golden crust that's formed. What's happened is the sugars in the teriyaki sauce have caramelized, and they're going to give that chicken a delicious flavour. So let's just pop it here to rest while we get our sandwiches ready. Never cut into hot chicken. You want those juices to run back into the meat. So it's very, very important that you rest your meat for about 5 minutes. Whilst that chicken's resting, we're going to start assembling our sandwiches. Now, when you're making sushi sandwiches, the first step is to lay a sheet of cling wrap on your board. This is going to allow us to wrap our sushi sandwich neatly at the end of the process. So we grab one nori sheet and we want to place it down in a diamond shape. And this will make sense in a minute when we're assembling our sandwich. We want the shiny side down so that our sushi sandwich is aesthetically pleasing, and we want the rough side facing us. Now to this, we're going to add about half a cup of rice for each bun or each slice of bread, you could say. So pack it in nice and tightly into half a cup. And then just lay it onto your nori sheet. And then at this stage, what I like to do is get a pastry scraper and I just flatten that out slightly. It's going to help our sushi sandwich stick together. And I also like to start forming a bit of a square shape. So you can see already that's starting to resemble a slice of bread. Now to this, I love to add butter lettuce, my chicken teriyaki sandwich. Now here you can go as creative as you like with the fillings. You can just keep these vegetarian or just keep them really simple and have cucumber sushi sandwiches, which are great for lunch boxes. I love adding julienne carrots for contrasting colour and texture. And then on top of that, I'm going to add 1 piece of our glazed teriyaki chicken. Now a squeeze of our homemade Japanese mayonnaise. Japanese mayonnaise is hugely popular in Asia, and you can see why it's so creamy and delicious, and it's a beautiful creamy texture to dishes. And finally, a sprinkling of toasted sesame seeds. Now we need to add our other sandwich layer. So another half a cup of sushi rice. Just press that in firmly. Now before I add this to the top layer, I just like to create a little square shape with my hands, which will make it easier to assemble. So just layer that on top, and you can see it's already starting to look like a sandwich. Now we're going to fold our sandwiches. Just fold over one corner of the nori sheet first, and then use your cling wrap to help guide you to form our beautiful sandwich. So we're going to wrap this fairly tightly, and we're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes so that nori sheet can soften before we cut into it. Whilst that's resting, I'm going to make my second sandwich. Slice into this now. And at this point I like to add some extra sesame. here we have our beautiful onigirazu sushi sandwiches with all those gorgeous sandwich layers. This is what you make when you can't decide between a burger and sushi. So easy and perfect for lunchboxes.